Hey guys, Pete here. We've got another knife review for you today. We're going to be talking about an excellent little knife. This is the knife I've been alluding to for months now. It was my next somewhat big purchase. This knife is amazing. I've been looking for this for a very long time. I'm very happy to finally have it. What we have today is the Fox Knives 479 Karambit. I was originally looking for the 599, which is basically a slightly smaller version of this knife, but for a couple reasons I'll explain in a bit, I wasn't able to get that exact model. However, no big deal. The 479 is still amazing. It does not fit my hand perfectly, and the company even says this verbatim on their site that this is a double XL glove size. This is meant for large hands or people wearing gloves while using it. But that being said, still fits very well in the hand. It's incredibly ergonomic, even though I have smaller hands for this knife. Excellent, excellent, excellent knife. Let me start you guys off with the specs like I normally do. So the handle scales, as you might be able to tell, are black G10, excellent traction, excellent retention, some nice little contouring on there. The blade steel is it's Teflon coated N690CO, so it's really, really good blade steel. That Teflon coating there is going to be some wear and scratch resistant, so that's nice too. The total open length, as you see it now, is 8.5 inches. The total closed length is 5.25, and the blade length is 3.2 inches. This knife is a little bit big. As I said, it's the larger model. I want to go into the history of this knife a little bit, but just for a second here. Basically, this knife came first. It was the 479. It's designed by Fox Knives, which is based in Italy. This was originally designed for the Italian Special Forces, and it was designed for them wearing their tactical gloves, which is why this knife, you know, my hands are kind of swimming on it. If I grip it properly, finger next to finger, I'm not even reaching this last choil here. I can space out across all four, but I really have to stretch to do that, and that doesn't feel as natural. That being said, even this is incredibly comfortable and very ergonomic. It is not ideal, I will say that, but you can do it and get away with it. So the 599, I feel bad, I forget the gentleman's name. I'll put it in the description, however, but he basically wanted the best survival knife, the best, survival's not the right word, the best tactical EDC knife for the average Joe. The best self-defense knife, I guess you could say. And he was looking around and he found Fox Knives and he found the 479 and said, you know, this is pretty much perfect, but it's a little too big, but let me see what other people think. He sent it over to Doug Marcaida, who is an expert in Kali and Filipino martial arts, really an expert knife fighter overall. I love his work, I love his style. So he got the knife and he said, you know, I saw the same thing. I used to have, or I looked into the 479. I love the knife, but it's just a little too big for me. So they collaborated a little. They sent some plans back to Fox Knives. They loved it. They made the 599, which is the smaller version of this knife that is designed for the average Joe to carry with average ungloved hands. Now, that knife is what I originally wanted. However, it works so well and it's so great, it's kind of hard to find it on the secondhand market. No one wants to get rid of it. No one wants to sell it because, well, it's a great knife. They don't want to get rid of it. I was looking primarily on the secondhand market. I wanted to save a little money. I know I'm being cheap, but you know, I've got expenses, so I tried to save a little bit of money, and I got a good deal on this knife. Got it off of eBay, trusted seller. Things went fine, no issues at all. Very expedient delivery, right on time. Really, really good purchase, great experience. But it's not the 599. However, I don't care. The 479 is excellent, exact same build quality, which is outstanding, by the way, and the knife itself is fantastic. The fit, the finish, the ergonomics of it, everything is amazing. So that was a little brief history of the knife and why I have the knife I have today. It is everything I could ask for. Now, let me go over the features of this knife real quick. So, obviously, you've got your pocket clip, you've got your finger ring here, your retention ring, very indicative of a Karambit. It is tip-up carry only. It is reversible for right or left-hand carry, which is nice. The reason it is tip-up only, however, is because it features the Emerson Wave. This is that unique feature I was alluding to about this knife. So the Emerson Wave, for those of you who don't know, is an opening feature that allows a knife to deploy as quickly as possible. As soon as it leaves your pocket, and actually as it's leaving your pocket, this knife will deploy. This little hook here, when the knife is seated in the upwards position, as it would be, will latch onto the edge of your pocket lip, or any clothing for that matter, as I'll explain later. So, this little loop of paracord, this will represent, say, the edge of your pocket or the edge of a hoodie pocket, and as you pull, it deploys the blade for you. In my opinion, this is the fastest deployment mechanism for any knife, period, even above fully automatic knives or OTF knives. The simple fact that in order to use any other opening mechanism, you have to deploy the knife from your pocket first and then deploy means they can only be as fast as post-pocket draw. This mechanism, on the other hand, deploys as you're pulling it from your pocket, allowing it to deploy faster than any other mechanism. It is by far my favorite opening mechanism of all time, and it's extraordinary. It's absolutely excellent. Now, it's not your only option for deployment. As you may have noticed, there is a small little flipper tab back here. It's designed well, but its purpose, I mean, it does open the blade, sure, but it's not really the intended way to open it. It does serve as a little guard here at the end of the finger choil, which is nice, but it's not the primary deployment method that they intended you to use, but you certainly can. But as you can see, it's not great. It really takes a lot of wrist flick action to get it done. You also have a bird or a Spyderco style opening hole right here, closer to bird with that shape anyway. And you can deploy it from there as well if you were holding it in hammer grip. That being said, not really how they intend you to open it, but you can. Primarily, it's gonna be via that Emerson Wave feature, which does not work every time like this and does admittedly take some practice from the pocket, but you can get it done, I can guarantee you that. A little bit of practice, you'll have it down pat in no time. Now this knife is excellent. Like I said, the fit, finish, and quality of everything is outstanding. There is absolutely zero blade play. The lockup is solid. It is a liner lock. So no, it is not the strongest locking mechanism you can have, but it is a very well-designed liner lock. I've never had the knife fail. I'm not going to do a spine whack test on this or anything, but it's a very secure lockup. You can also kind of deploy from the Emerson Wave feature as well, but again, not intended. But the knife is just excellent. It was razor, and I mean literally razor sharp out of the box. I could shave with it. And that Karambit, oh my god, that shape is just excellent. It's my favorite knife shape for self-defense carry. For EDC, yes, it has its uses, as I discussed in my blade shape video. You certainly can use it to open packages and open envelopes and things like that, but it's primarily used for, you know, offense or defense. It's meant for use as a defensive knife, which it does its job exceedingly well. It's an excellent blade shape for that. The ergonomics of the knife, as I discussed before, are outstanding. Even though it's too big for my hand, it's still comfortable. And that's a rare thing. You really don't find that in most knives. If it was designed to be a massive thing, like the ADV Butchers, I forget what the larger model is, but those big ones, if you don't have big hands, you're going to be swimming on it. It's not going to feel very comfortable, I'm imagining. This knife doesn't matter. It will feel comfortable. The ergonomics are excellently engineered. The 599, I can only imagine how comfortable that must feel in the hand. Hopefully I'll get my hands on one of those one of these days, but for now, this will certainly do. Now, Fox also makes a set of trainers. They definitely have trainers for the 599. I don't know if they have trainers for the 479, but I'm assuming they do. Now, this brings me to the price point a little bit here, in that this knife retails for about $140. That's not including shipping and handling, and it is shipping from Italy in most cases, so it's going to be a little expensive. The 599, I want to say, is basically a comparable price, maybe a little bit cheaper, but at the end of the day, virtually the same price for very much so the same knife, just a little bit bigger or smaller, depending on the model. For a lot of people, $140 is going to be too much, though it is an investment. This is a knife that will, without exaggeration, probably outlive you. As long as you don't do anything stupid with it, this knife will last 30, 40 years. There is nothing in here that should fail that can't be mitigated with just average day maintenance. Oiling the pivot every now and then, making sure you don't let it sit in a bucket of salt water, things like that, getting the gunk and grime out of the inner workings every now and then. This knife will last. I have no doubt in my mind. It's an excellent blade steel. The G10 is completely inert. That's not going to rot away on you or anything like wood might. It's just an excellent knife. It's an investment. It's something that will last you for decades if taken care of properly. And it's something that could actually save your life. That's the whole point here, guys. The Fox Karambits, they're not intended for just, you know, Joe Schmo EDC for opening packages. You can, but it's mainly meant for self-defense. Again, designed for the Italian Special Forces. They're not using this to open boxes, guys. Though you can, that's not its purpose. But this knife is an investment, in my opinion, well worth the $140. But if you're like me and don't want to spend that, you can find it on the secondhand market for a little bit cheaper. If you're talking like $90, it can be done, but you're going to start seeing some wear, some tip damage, but you can certainly get it done for $90. That being said, even at full price of $140 plus shipping and handling, whatever that comes out to be, it's still totally worth it. This knife is just excellent. There's really aren't enough good things that I can say about this knife. I could go on for hours, but I know that's not what you guys came here to see. You came here to see the knife in a quick review. It's already running a little long, but I got a lot to talk about this knife. But that pretty much covers everything I wanted to say about it. It's absolutely excellent. I highly recommend you check out Doug Marcaida and Ryan Hoover. They both work with this knife a little bit. Doug Marcaida is an expert with this knife and many other weapons for that matter. Definitely check out him, check out Funker Tactical and their channel. I'll put links to all these in the description, but if you want to see what this knife can do and what the 599 can do, and there's another knife called the Dart, which is this exact same handle setup, Karambit style, except it has a Tonto blade. Check that out. It's called the Dart knife. That's also available on theultimateknife.com. Excellent, excellent products and some great techniques shown by Doug Marcaida. I highly recommend you check out his seminars if you get the chance, or at minimum, just check out their videos. So as always, guys, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed. You will probably see more of this knife in a couple of months, maybe a long-term use review, potentially. Though I can't imagine much is going to happen to this guy. I mean, it's built like a tank, very robust. So thanks again for watching, guys. As always, please like, subscribe, and comment below if you have any questions regarding anything at all you saw in this video. And as always, guys, please keep your edges sharp and your mind sharper, and I'll see you in the next one.